Hey again, it's me. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the graphic style of the Marseille Tarot. So, first, we'll break it down in order to distinguish their main elements. If you look at these images, you can see in broad terms how the style of the Tarot of Marseille is. The style used in these cards is pretty medieval. The colors are plain and the lines are hard and strong. If you look for real old cards of the Tarot of Marseille, we'll see that they present the same style. These cards are very old and that's why they look all the same. The main features that I wanted to highlight about these cards are the hieratic features. That is, inexpressive faces, a medieval style, simple and straight lines with no width on the curves. As you can see, the lines are black, colors are plain and simple, mostly primary colors. There is not much perspective, right? And the shadows are made with black lines, resembling a hatching technique. Besides, the anatomy is not accurately represented, like in the medieval style. Okay, now that you know more about these features, let's reproduce them with these two reference cards. I'm going to create a face. So I'll start sketching the face as I were doing it in a cartoon or realistic style. In this case, we're going to copy the same pattern than in the originals, where we see that the faces are pretty rounded and they had no marked lines that reveal a clear anatomy. When drawing the hair, back then they didn't use modulations or very precise volumes, but they use a lot of locks of hair with messy lines and done with a thick and black outline, like the other lines of the drawing. In this case, there is no line modulation. They are all the same. To draw the face of the girl, we are going to start from the eyebrows line, which, as you can see, it's linked to the nose line. It's like we have images in 3/4. That way the eyebrow is linked to the nose and it has always the same shape. As a general rule, they don't use different types of facial characteristics. When you see this kind of cards, you realize that the same features are used over and over for men and women. We could say that they are like brothers and sisters, right? A lot of them. That way, it will be easier for you if you have to do these images because the features are always the same, so you will know how to do them. Obviously, if they are humans, in case we are doing animals, monsters, or stuff like that, then we will have to do another style. If you look closely, the facial features like the eyelids, the bags under the eyes, and the chin are elements that tend to be quite marked. These elements make people look old even if they are young. So guys, these are part of the typical features we can find in the Middle Age graphic style. If you do a research on the internet or on history books regarding the graphic style of these times, you'll see that most of them have this type of face. They are quite hieratic. As I said before, this means that they don't express emotions. Okay, now that we have more or less sketched the face and you've seen how the graphic style works, we're going to analyze an object. In this case, as the character in the card is using yours, we're going to draw one of them. That way you can get an idea on how to make these objects in this style. The shapes we are going to use are going to be quite simple. That is, we are not going to find very complex lines. If the element has any ornament like this, it will always be very simple lines. There's no much complication regarding the object's ornaments within this style. As you can see, we work with very simple lines, with the same width and trying to keep the same volume of the shape. Kind of. In some cases, the volumes or perspectives are not the same as the actual shape of the object itself. If you want to know more about this kind of art and why it is so austere and flat, I'm going to tell you something. After the Greek and Roman art, with the arrival of Christianity, many anatomic and technical images were destroyed. That way, we can only find few references. Therefore, the masters studied those references and the students the master's references, and so on, until the copies, together with the art itself, were losing quality. Let's draw now a random animal, just to show you how we can adapt the graphic style to anything, actually. As you see, I've done quite big eyes. They are more expressive within the cartoon style, but I'm going to keep the austere and flat lines. The inking and coloring steps will be of great help to follow and reflect this graphic style on our own cards. But we're going to see it later on. If we add some straight lines to create the shadows and also some expressions like the wrinkles around the eyes or, or the eyelids, we'll see that it will be more similar to the medieval graphic style. Now, what we are going to do is lower the opacity of the main character that we made, and we are going to ink over it. For the inking, you can make it manually with your own material, like markers, brushes, as you prefer, or you can use a software that you use on a regular basis. In my case, I'm going to use a normal Photoshop brush to do the inking. I'm trying not to give much volume to the lines. That is, I won't draw too thin or thick lines, but try to look for a basic or intermediate width. That way it will be more similar to the medieval strokes. If you pay attention, in the cards of the Tarot of Marseille that we have as a reference or in any other, we'll see that the lines are thick, more or less, and they all have the same delineation and the same thickness, regardless of the elements being inked. Generally, in the current illustrations, these techniques are not frequently used, although obviously it depends on the artist and the style they want to adopt. An interesting exercise you can do at home is look for pictures with a character that you like and adapt it, trying to do the Tarot of Marseille style. That way you can adapt it correctly and learn more about it. So you can see what we are doing now is the shadows using straight and simple lines. If we can, we'll try to make the volume of the shape itself, but not too much, as we will give it too much perspective as this style doesn't have it. Okay, and now we are ready to paint our character. As I'm using Photoshop, what I'm going to do is place the painting below the inking, with no shadows on it. If you're making the drawing by hand, I recommend you to apply the flat color first and then do the inking over it. Basically, this will be the steps to achieve the Tarot of Marseille graphic style. I didn't want to go deeper in the images as we are going to see it in the next lesson when we draw our own tarot cards. Okay, Now that you know more about this graphic style, let's move on to the next lesson to study the cat's anatomy to adapt it afterwards to the Tarot of Marseille graphic style. So guys, I hope that you liked this lesson, but mostly that you've learned. See you in the next one!